Do you ever walk into a room and forget why you went there? Or search for your glasses, only to realize they're right on your head? If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. More than 40 of adults over 60 experience mild memory problems. But here's the hopeful truth. Most of them are not signs of dementia. In fact, researchers from Harvard and the National Institute on Aging found that in many cases, memory loss after 60 is not a permanent decline. It's a reversible warning sign. You see, memory loss isn't just about getting old, son. It's your brain's way of saying, I'm tired, I'm overloaded, I need care. And that's the part most people don't know. Your brain isn't aging as fast as your habits are. The late night TV, the skipped walks, the processed foods, the endless stress, they slowly starve your brain of what it needs most: oxygen, nutrients, and rest. But here's the amazing news. Science has proven that the brain can rebuild itself. It's called neuroplasticity, the ability to grow new brain cells and form new connections, even in your 70s or 80s. That means it's never too late to protect your mind, sharpen your focus, and even regain the memories you thought you'd lost. In this video, we'll uncover why memory loss happens after 60, and more importantly, how to reverse it naturally without pills or expensive supplements. You'll learn the real causes of memory decline that most people overlook, how to boost blood flow and brain oxygen naturally. 5 powerful habits proven by science to rebuild memory. So stay until the end, because the 5th habit is something most doctors never talk about, yet it can literally rewire your brain. Your memory is not gone. It's just waiting for you to wake it up again. The real causes of memory loss after 60. Most people believe memory loss is just a part of aging, but that's only half the story, and it's the wrong half. You see, aging doesn't destroy memory. It simply exposes the weaknesses in how we live. After 60, your brain doesn't suddenly stop working. It just needs more care, more oxygen, more nutrients, and more peace. Let's look at what really happens inside your brain. Over time, blood flow to the brain begins to slow down. Your heart pumps a little weaker, your arteries stiffen, and less oxygen reaches those delicate neurons responsible for memory. When your brain cells don't get enough fuel, they start to fade, not die, just fade. Then comes inflammation, the invisible fire. It's triggered by stress, poor diet, lack of sleep, and pollution. This silent fire damages your brain from the inside, making it harder to think clearly or remember names. And there's another hidden thief: stress. Every time you worry, your body releases cortisol, a hormone that can actually shrink the hippocampus, the part of your brain where memories are stored. Imagine watering a plant with too much sun and no rain. That's what chronic stress does to your brain. Add to that the lack of sleep, because during deep sleep, your brain cleans out toxins called beta amyloids. Without that nightly cleaning, your mind becomes foggy, like a window covered in dust. And finally, nutrition. When you're low in vitamin B12, omega-3s, or vitamin D, your neurons struggle to communicate. It's like trying to make a phone call with a weak signal. The message gets lost midway. But here's the good news. None of this means your brain is broken. It means your brain is asking for help. And when you start giving it what it needs, movement, real food, rest, calm, it begins to heal. It remembers how to remember. Because your brain isn't old, it's waiting to be reawakened. So let's meet someone who proved this was true. A 67-year-old woman named Mary, who lost her memory once, but found a way to bring it back. Mary was 67, a retired school teacher who once had a sharp mind, a warm smile, and a library of memories. But slowly, something changed. She began to forget little things: the name of her former students, where she left her keys, or whether she'd already taken her morning pills. At first, she laughed it off. But when she forgot her own granddaughter's birthday, she cried. Her doctor diagnosed her with mild cognitive impairment. It wasn't dementia, not yet, but it was a warning. Mary refused to give up. She told herself, if my brain can fade, maybe it can shine again. So she made changes. Each morning, she walked in the park for 20 minutes, feeling the sunlight on her skin. She started adding blueberries and walnuts to her breakfast, turned off the TV after dinner, and spent 10 quiet minutes each night practicing deep breathing. And one day something shifted. She was in her kitchen, humming a tune from years ago, and she suddenly remembered the lyrics. Not just the words, but the joy they once carried. That moment felt small, but to Mary, it was proof that her mind was coming back to life. Within 6 months, her memory improved. Her doctor was amazed. He said, "Mary, your results look like you've turned back the clock." She smiled and replied, "No, I just started caring for my brain the way it's always cared for me." Because the truth is, our brains don't forget how to heal. They just need the chance to begin again. So how is that even possible? Let's look at the fascinating science behind it, the power of neuroplasticity. The science explained neuroplasticity and brain healing. What Mary experienced wasn't a miracle, it was science, awesome. Beautiful, powerful, and alive inside every one of us. Your brain is not a stone, it's a living forest. And every thought, every memory, every new experience is like planting another seed in that forest. Scientists call this neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to grow new neurons, to form new connections, and to reorganize itself, even after injury or aging. For decades, doctors believed that once brain cells died, they were gone forever. But research from Harvard Medical School and UCSF has shattered that myth. They discovered that even in your 70s or 80s, the brain can still create new pathways, especially in the hippocampus, the very center of memory and our learning. Imagine a city where roads are damaged over time. You don't need to rebuild the entire city. You just need to open new streets so traffic can flow again. That's what neuroplasticity does. It opens new roads in your brain. And here's the best part. You don't need expensive treatments or pills to activate it. You just need the right daily habits: movement, nutrition, sleep, calm, and curiosity. Each time you learn something new, you light up your brain. Each time you walk, breathe deeply, or eat mindfully, you feed those new connections. That's why scientists now say the brain never stops learning. It only stops when you do. So yes, Mary's story wasn't magic, that it was biology in motion. Proof that the brain can heal, rebuild, and thrive again if you give it the right environment to grow. And that's exactly what we'll explore next. 5 powerful, science-backed habits that can help you rebuild your memory naturally after 60. Habit number 1, move your body, grow your brain. Movement is medicine, not just for your body, but for your brain. You see, when you move, your brain lights up. It releases endorphins, dopamine, and a special protein called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Think of BDNF as fertilizer for your brain cells. It helps neurons grow stronger, connect faster, and live longer. Harvard researchers found that older adults who walk briskly for just 30 minutes a day increase blood flow to the brain by up to 20%. That means more oxygen, more clarity, and more life in every thought. And here's something beautiful. You don't have to run marathons. Even gentle movement, a slow walk, stretching, dancing, or gardening can awaken your brain in ways no pill ever could. Let me tell you about George, 72. He used to say, "My body's too old for exercise." But one day his granddaughter asked him to walk to the park. They walked slowly, one bench at a time. Within weeks, he started remembering names again. He told me, "I thought I was training my legs, but it turns out I was training my mind." Science agrees. When you move, new blood vessels form in your brain. The hippocampus, your memory center, literally grows larger. Movement doesn't just protect your brain, it renews it. So whether it's walking, swimming, or simply dancing in your living room, keep moving, because motion keeps your mind alive. Stillness is what ages us. Movement is what rewinds time. And as we move our bodies, we also move something deeper: our energy, our focus, our purpose. In the next part, we'll discover how the food you eat can either feed your memory or slowly make it fade away. Habit number 2, feed your brain right. Your brain is what you eat. It sounds simple, but it's deeply true. Every bite you take becomes part of your next thought, your next mood, your next memory. Food doesn't just fill your stomach, it shapes your mind. And after 60, your brain becomes more sensitive to what you feed it. The wrong foods, sugar, fried oils, processed snacks, can inflame your brain, just like rust eats away at metal. But the right foods can reverse that damage. The Mind Diet, created by researchers at Harvard and Rush University, was designed specifically to protect memory and slow aging in the brain. They found that people who followed it had up to 53% lower risk of developing Alzheimer's. So what's on this brain healing plate? Green leafy vegetables, spinach, kale, broccoli, full of antioxidants, berries, blueberries, strawberries, proven to delay brain aging by 2.5 years. Fatty fish, salmon, sardines, rich in omega-3s that repair neuron walls. Nuts and olive oil, feeding your brain with healthy fats. Whole grains and legumes, steady energy for focus and recall. And don't forget hydration. Even mild dehydration can shrink your attention span. Let me share something simple. Linda, 70, used to skip breakfast and grab pastries with coffee. She often felt foggy before noon. Then she switched to oatmeal topped with blueberries and walnuts. Within weeks, her focus sharpened. She said, "I didn't change my life, just my plate." That's the magic of food. Every bite is a signal to your brain. Heal or harm, repair or rust, So choose foods that remind your brain how to live. Fresh, colorful, full of life. Because food isn't just nutrition, it's memory, energy, and mood, all served on the same plate. And as we nourish the body, we must also protect the time when the brain repairs itself most, during deep, peaceful sleep. Habit number 3, protect your sleep. If movement gives the life to your body, then sleep gives life back to your mind. It's during deep sleep that your brain performs its nightly miracle. It cleans itself. While you rest, billions of brain cells slow down, and tiny channels between them open up. Through these channels, your brain washes away toxins, including beta amyloids, the same proteins linked to Alzheimer's. Think of it like a janitor working overnight, sweeping away the clutter so you can wake up clear and sharp. But when you skip that cleaning, when you stay up late, scroll your phone, or sleep less than 6 hours, those toxins pile up, and your mind begins to feel foggy, heavy, or lost. A study from Harvard Medical School found that seniors who sleep fewer than 6 hours a night have a 30% higher risk of cognitive decline. Yet, the solution is simple and peaceful. Set a bedtime, dim the lights, no caffeine after 2 p.m., no screens 1 hour before sleep. Read a few pages of a real book, or simply sit in silence and breathe. John, 73, told me, "I used to wake up 3 times a night, my mind racing. Now I listen to soft piano music before bed, and I sleep like I did when I was 40. Good sleep isn't a luxury, it's brain therapy. Each night your mind repairs, rewires, and resets itself for tomorrow. So tonight, give yourself permission to rest fully, because every deep sleep is a gift your brain gives back to you. And when your mind rests, your heart follows. Which brings us to the next secret of memory and longevity, learning to calm your stress. Habit number 4, lower stress, protect your memory. Stress is a silent thief. It doesn't scream, it doesn't break bones, but it quietly steals your focus, your joy, and your memory. Each time you worry, your body releases cortisol, the stress hormone. And while cortisol helps you survive short danger, too much of it for too long can shrink your hippocampus, the part of your brain that stores memories. Imagine a beautiful garden, your mind. But every day a storm passes through, tearing down flowers before they bloom. That's what chronic stress does to your brain. Harvard Health reports that people who practice relaxation daily, deep breathing, meditation, prayer, or gratitude, reduce cortisol levels by nearly 40% and perform better in memory and focus tests. You don't have to sit on a mountain to find calm. You can start right where you are. Close your eyes. Inhale slowly through your nose for 4 seconds, hold, and exhale through your mouth for 4. Again, let the breath wash through you like a quiet wave. This is what healing feels like: simple, silent, powerful. Sarah, 66, began every morning with this 3-minute breathing pause. She said, "I can't stop the chaos of life, but I can stop how I react to it." Within weeks, her headaches eased, her sleep improved, and she said her mind felt peacefully awake. That's the secret. You can't control every storm, but you can choose the calm within it. Lower your stress, and you protect your brain from the fires of inflammation. You protect your heart from pressure. You give your memory space to breathe again. Because when the mind is calm, the brain begins to heal. And that peaceful clarity is exactly what prepares you for the next step, keeping your brain young and alive through lifelong learning. Habit number 5, keep learning, keep remembering. Your brain is like a muscle. If you stop using it, it begins to shrink. But when you challenge it, it grows stronger, faster, more alive. For years, scientists believed memory decline after 60 was inevitable. Now we know the opposite is true. The brain has a secret and it loves being surprised. Every time you learn something new, you're teaching your brain to adapt, to build new pathways, to remember that life is still full of curiosity. Studies from Harvard and the Alzheimer's Society found that seniors who regularly learn new skills reduce their risk of cognitive decline by 48%. Not because they're smarter, but because they keep the brain in motion. It doesn't matter what you learn. It could be a painting, cooking, a language, gardening, or even learning to play the piano. What matters is that your brain says, "Oh, this is new. Let's grow." Let me tell you about Tom, 75. When he retired, he felt lost. He said, "I stopped learning when I left my job. And when I stopped learning, I started forgetting." One day, his granddaughter gave him a guitar. He laughed and said, "These fingers are too old." But he tried anyway, 5 minutes a day. At first, his hands trembled. Then one day, his muscle memory kicked in, and a melody filled the room. He smiled and said, "I think my brain just woke up." Learning keeps your mind young, not because of what you master, but because of what you attempt. So read, learn, create. Even if you forget half of it, the act of trying already rewires your brain. Because the human mind doesn't age from time, it ages from comfort. Keep learning, and your brain will keep remembering. And as you grow in knowledge, you'll discover something even deeper, a sense of purpose that keeps your heart alive long after the body begins to slow down. Part 10, habit number 6, find purpose. There's a Japanese word that beautifully captures the secret of longevity. Ikigai. It means a reason for being. Your purpose, your reason to wake up every morning. That quiet force that whispers, "Today still matters." Science agrees. A study from the Journal of Psychosomatic Research found that seniors with a strong sense of purpose had a 43% lower risk of dementia and early death. Because purpose does something extraordinary to the human body. It lowers stress hormones, regulates your blood pressure, and strengthens your immune system. But more than that, it gives your heart a reason to keep beating. Let me tell you a story. Helen, 78, lost her husband 5 years ago. For months, she barely left the house. Her world became smaller, her laughter quieter, and her memory began to fade. One day, a friend invited her to volunteer at the local library, reading stories to children once a week. At first, she hesitated, but she went. And for 1 hour, surrounded by curious little faces, she felt something she hadn't felt in years. Joy. She told me, "When I read to them, I feel like I'm giving life again. And somehow life gives back to me." That's what purpose does. It turns loss into meaning. It turns pain into strength. It turns time into life. Your purpose doesn't need to be grand. It doesn't have to change the world. It only has to change yours. It could be tending a garden, calling your grandchildren, helping a neighbor, or simply deciding, "Today I'll be kind." Every small act of purpose tells your soul, "I still matter." And when your soul believes that, your brain listens, your body heals, your heart grows young again. So ask yourself tonight, what gives my life meaning today? What makes me feel alive? Because when you live with purpose, you don't just add years to your life, you add life to your years. And that brings us to our final reflection, a gentle look back at all 6 habits and how they can become your roadmap to a sharper mind and a longer, fuller life. So let's take a moment to breathe and reflect on what we've learned today. 6 simple habits, but together they form a blueprint for a sharper mind and a longer, fuller life. 1. Move your body. Keep the blood and oxygen flowing to your brain. 2. Feed your brain. Choose foods that heal, not harm. 3. Protect your sleep. Let your mind repair itself every night. 4. Calm your stress. Peace isn't a luxury, it's protection. 5. Keep learning. Stay curious. Your brain grows through curiosity. 6. Find purpose. Give your heart a reason to wake up each morning. You don't have to do all 6 at once. Start small. Walk for 10 minutes tomorrow. Add 1 new color to your plate. Go to bed half an hour earlier. Call someone you love. Every small choice tells your brain, I'm still growing. Because healthy aging isn't about fighting time. It's about learning to live with it. Gently, wisely, gratefully. Your memory isn't fading. It's waiting to be reawakened. Your body isn't slowing down. It's asking to be cared for. Your purpose isn't lost. It's waiting for you to notice it again. So take this as your reminder. It's never too late to rebuild your brain, to strengthen your heart, to live fully. Right here, right now. Tell me in the comments, which of these 6 habits will you start this week? Type Mind Strong if you're ready to take care of your brain and your future. And if this video touched you, please like, share, and subscribe. So together we can help more people remember what it means to truly live. Because longevity isn't about living forever. It's about living fully while we're here.